go. Unfreaking believable. Unbelievable. I gotta be honest with you, that game drove me nuts. I cannot believe the Buccaneers lost that game. Wow. I don't even know what to say. Tough one. Man, that was an absolute blazer from Coos, wasn't it? What a crazy game. The Bulls are bowl bound for the third season in a row. An incredible performance. But listen, we know the competition. They did what they had to do. No more silver linings. No more moral victories. It was put up or shut up time. And boy, did they rise to the occasion. Hot Mess Express Party of One. I am here, but a minute late. I'm still running on fumes. I swear to you, I'm still freezing from the Stadium Series game last Saturday, or last Sunday. It was 5 freaking days ago, and I'm still getting my shit together. Hope everybody is well. Happy freaking Friday, and welcome to the Recher podcast here as we get situated. We're good. We're Gucci. We're ready. We're ready to roll. Hope everybody is well, man. Excited for the show today. A little bit more than a power hour today. No show next Tuesday. No show next Friday. I'm going to take some days off because your boy is going crazy, and I need some time. The Lightning are off, so I'm going to take some time off next Tuesday, next Friday. So we'll have a show Monday. Of course, we're going to look back at the Super Bowl, and then Wednesday and Thursday with our guys, Eric Erlinson, Eddie Encina, and Dr. Carlos Rodriguez. Tuesday, I got some stuff to take care of on the baseball side, and then Friday, some personal stuff, but nothing too crazy. So next Tuesday, next Friday, we'll be off, but next Monday, Wednesday, and Thursday, we will be on, and we will be ready to roll. What is going on? What's going on last night? What the hell happened at the arena? We'll get into that here momentarily. And then our good friend Diandra Loux, she's going to join us at 12:30 from the Hockey News. Look, my hair's all messed up. I got to go get a haircut next week. Yeah, see, man, your boy's a little crazy right now. Your boy's a little crazy. That's just the way it goes. First baseball tournament this weekend down in Braden River. So, that's the reason why I need to take some time off, because between hockey and baseball and this show, your boy needs some time. Your boy needs some time to chill the F out. Make sure you follow me on all social media platforms: Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, Twitch, TikTok, Instagram. Like and subscribe on YouTube, man. A lot of good things on social media here the last couple of weeks with me and the videos. I mean, you're talking about millions of views on my social media platforms over the last 2 weeks. It's been incredible, and I'm extremely grateful for all that. We cannot do this without you, cannot do this without the super chats. Look at our guy, Eddie. Safe to say cats are done. Well played, Bolts. I'm under the weather, so enjoy your weekends. Recher Crew, appreciate you, buddy. Feel better. And, of course, DT, our guy, David Terry. If you guys want to join in on the conversation, make sure you leave your comments, questions, concerns down below. I don't know why anybody would have concerns now, but if you want to join in via the video chat, just click on the link right there on your phone, on your laptop. There you go. StreamYard.com/8D8NNG JWIS. Late night for me last night, 10 toes down. After Lightning game, and it was just a late night. It's just been a crazy couple of weeks, hasn't it? David Terry, more dirty hits by the Kittens, about to come unglued with these cowards. Benny, not happy with Sabern. Vazzy should have gotten the shutout. Great win either way. Our North Carolina correspondent, Steve Garner. Bolts played a solid 200-foot game last night for 60 minutes. Can't complain about that. Janet Best is in the house as well. Again, leave your questions, comments, concerns at the bottom of the screen. All right, we'll talk about what happened last night. We'll discuss the Super Bowl, of course, on Sunday. Tom Brady isn't picking a winner. He's not leaning either way, but I'll tell you who I think is going to win. I'm also going to address that too, because I heard like some people talking about the Tom Brady thing and getting up, it's not a big deal. And, he can root for whoever he wants. He shouldn't have a dog in the fight, blah, 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 blah. I'll give you my 2 cents on that here in a bit. And then again, Diandra Loux joins us at 12:30, and then whatever else is going on, 1 o'clock. There's a lot of things to watch this weekend, so including UT. They're in action tonight at the Birdcage. So I was going to try to make it over there. I don't know if I'll be able to make it because we got practice around that same time. But best of luck to Coach Joe Urso. They're already 2-0. They won their first two games up in Georgia last week, but they'll be in action tonight. And yeah, a bunch of USF action as well. So what the hell happened at the arena last night? My God. It's always good to beat the Florida Panthers, but there's always just one thing that kind of sticks out. There's always one thing that sticks out above the rest. And when you look back at the outdoor game, I think it was the fight. And we love the fights. We love the scrappiness, and especially between these two teams. When you look at what Brandon Hagel and just the entire crew was able to do last night. Now, we will play for you, and this is what's worked out so well. Over 46,000 views on Twitter last night. If you missed the fight, here was my vantage point from the press box to see how everything went down. I want you guys to see it from my spot in the press box. It started with Nikita Kucherov just standing there, minding his own business, not doing anything. And then Matthew Tkachuk just comes up behind him and just blasts him. And then all hell broke loose. Listen, the Lightning were outplaying the Panthers. And listen, the Panthers got some shots. They had some high danger chances, but I thought the Lightning did a good job of keeping everything to the outside. Andrei Vasilevsky was seeing the puck really well. So, I mean, it's not like the Panthers deserve to win anything. Nobody deserves anything in life. You earn the damn thing. But when this happened, all hell broke loose. And I want you guys to see from my vantage point what it was like. Brandon Hagel and everybody, look at Hagel and Tkachuk. Hagel was throwing bombs. And then I want you to watch this absolute bullshit with Gustav Forsling. When you get a guy down on the ice, you're not supposed to continue throwing punches. It's just like one of those unwritten rules. I mean, even the most badass dudes ever, like the only time that you've ever seen that is like when Claude Lemieux was going back up against the Red Wings and that whole heated rivalry there. And even then, everybody was like, come on, man. Like, but that was the only time where anybody looked at it and said, okay, well, maybe that makes sense because they were headhunting that guy. This certainly wasn't one of those situations with Gus Forsling. I think only a second fighting major and JJ Moser, not exactly the big fighters when it comes to these two teams. Here was my vantage point. If you didn't see it, my goodness, take a look at this thing. Unbelievable. Unbelievable. I mean, it just got everybody fired up. Hagel and Kachuk. And I just it was just weird. And when you look at this entire situation, this is just it's a powder keg, man. It's gonna explode every single time it has an opportunity to early in the game and late in the game, it looked like the team was just both these teams were just trying to get through this game, get to the Olympic break, and go from there. But the Panthers just keep pushing, man. They keep needling. They don't know when to stop. They don't know when to stop. They're the little brother that just keeps egging you on and egging you on and egging you on. And then eventually, I mean, shit's gonna catch up to you. And that's exactly what happened. And I have no sympathy for them whatsoever. None. None. They got what came to them. And I thought it was very interesting how you look at a guy like Nico Mikkola, who loves to pick at people behind the play. And then he gets pressed by Curtis Douglas last night, one of the biggest guys in the Lightning. And then he's like, oh, I don't want to fight and blah, blah. I'm like, oh, what a I can't believe that. Come on, buddy. You can't feign like you're some big tough guy, and then when somebody calls you to the carpet, you just run away with your tail between your legs. You can't do that either. Here's Brandon Hagel last night. We asked him after the game what he thought of the ruckus, and here's what he had to say.
All right, so the dust up there in the second period, you knew it was there, right?
Yeah, I mean, listen, Nikita Kucherov's our best player. He just continued to do incredible things, so probably stay away from him.
So the dust up there.
I probably want to stay away from him, and that's Hagel, man. And that's the thing, is this is one of the Lightning's best players, taking matters into his own hands, literally and figuratively. It's just that's what's going to happen. You got to stop. And Brandon Hagel is such a huge part of this team, and I'm glad it was him because of the cheap hits from Ekblad and Greer and all these other guys. And they went, all right, well, you want to pick on a guy like Hagel then, one of the smallest guys? And that's the thing with this whole Florida Panthers thing, is they always want to pick on the smaller guys. They always want to pick on the guys that aren't going to fight back or wouldn't fight back before last night. And you know, it was kind of curious too. I don't know if enough people really spoke about this, but for some reason, Aaron Ekblad wasn't in the game last night. Brad Marchand wasn't in the game last night. Evan Rodriguez came down with an illness. I heard that he was sick, so I'm not going to talk shit about him. But what happened with Aaron Ekblad? What happened with Brad Marchand? Oh, I know what happened, and I think you all know what happened too. They knew that there was a possibility that shit was going to have last night, that shit was going to happen last night. And we talked about this on the show yesterday, about the possibility of sitting Brandon Hagel, and if you did, what kind of message that was sent to the Florida Panthers. I think a message was sent last night at Benchmark International Arena by the Tampa Bay Lightning. The tide is turning once again in this rivalry. It is a heated one. The Battle of Florida is no joke. But last night, Brandon Hagel putting the beats on Matthew Tkachuk, Paul Maurice not having Aaron Ekblad and Brad Marchand in the lineup sounded like they were running scared. Second half of a back-to-back in a game they desperately needed to win. They need points, and that wasn't me saying it. It was Paul Maurice. They needed to win that game last night. They have been horrible this season. And don't give me anything about injuries. I don't want to hear a damn thing about the injuries when it comes to the Florida Panthers. I know how good Sasha Barkov is. I know how big of a part of this team Matthew Tkachuk is, but I don't want to hear that shit at all, because you look at how many games Victor Hedman has missed, and Ryan McDonough has missed, and Eric Chernak has missed, and Emil Lilleberg has missed, and Charles Wardestue has missed, and how many games Braden Point and Anthony Cirelli and now Nick Paul. I'm not trying to hear that. Not trying to hear it. The tide has turned in this rivalry once again. The little brother has had some success, but they just kept pecking and just pestering the big brother. And finally, last night, enough was enough. And Brandon Hagel throwing those bombs, to me, that was the game changer. I'm not worried about the Lightning seeing the Panthers in the postseason. Not at all. The Panthers have to worry about making it to the playoffs. And right now, judging by how they're playing, I think they'll be playing golf after game 82. Not surprised. It was only a matter of time. And when you look at these two teams and you look at after the Lightning went to 3 straight Stanley Cup finals, what happened? Did they crater? Did they go all the way into last place? Did Andrei Vasilevsky just completely shit the bed and just be terrible again? No, we didn't see that. They still were in it. They were still battling. They still made the playoffs. You're not seeing that with the Florida Panthers. So when you're going to sit there and you're going to compare the Panthers to the Lightning, I don't want to hear it. Not at all. Our guy Eric Moreno's here. What's up, pal? What do you got for me?
What's going on? Hey, you think Evans would do like a 4-year, $72 million Or you think that's too long? Or maybe like 2
No,
years?
that's too much. Too much. 4 years is a lot, buddy.
2 years, 38 million or something like that?
Yeah, I don't even know, man. I honestly, I have a bad feeling about the Mike Evans thing, buddy. Unfortunately, I want him to be back, but I just feel like if we don't hear something, I know what people have said. I know other people have said, well, it's either the Bucks or nothing. But there's other things that come into play. Is if his family wants to see him in Texas and he wants to play there for a year, he wants to play maybe with Patrick Mahomes and the Chiefs. Like he's earned the right to be able to do that. How heartbroken would you be if Mike Evans played on another team?
I mean, I love Mike Evans, but I mean, it's a business, Jay. I mean,
yeah, right, pal.
I mean, I think Bucks. I mean, like Levon and David, he's either going to retire or he's going to come back to the Bucks. He's not going to, So hopefully, I mean, I don't think Evans would move. If he plays another year and retires, I'll be okay.
Right.
But I think he's got 2 years, I think he's got 2 years left in him. So,
I'm with you. What kind of shirt you got on, buddy? What was that? A Mecca Abuka?
Abuka, nice. Yes, sir.
I like that, buddy. Eric, have a good weekend, buddy. Appreciate you.
Go Bucks.
All right, buddy. Go Bucks is right. Yes. And I'm looking at some of the things right here. Hold on, guys. Bring this back up. I saw a Pewter report. There were some elevations on the defensive staff. I want to get those to you guys real quick. But I saw something on here. New secondary coaches. They found their new cornerbacks and safety coaches. This is from our friends over at Pewter Report, which is good. They need some new coaches, some new young guys, to replace Kevin Ross and Nick Rapone. Again, this is from our friends at Pewter Report. Bucks head coach Todd Bowles has filled the defensive coaching vacancies at corner and safety positions by promoting assistant defensive back coach Rashad Johnson and Tim Atkins to those roles. So there you go. Not really the splash moves that you're looking for, but you're hoping that these young guys can step in and do the job, because as much as we've loved some of the offensive moves, I think defensively, that's where people are keeping an eye on. Like, all right, Todd, this is your side of the ball. This is your side of the ball, Todd. What are we going to do? What are we going to do now, buddy? You got to check it out. Aaron DeBuck. I don't think he wants to break the bank. Last year he said what kept him was Tampa is his home. I don't see that changing. Yeah, I mean, I hear you. I hear you, buddy. But at the end of the day, if it's about his home, because obviously he's got the place there in Texas, if he goes back there, it's not going to – I don't think he's not going to come back here because he's going to want too much money. That's not the point. It's not going to be something where you look at it and go, all right, well, we just couldn't afford Mike Evans. That's not the way it goes. This isn't a situation like a Darren Radish where you're wondering. And that video actually did pretty well yesterday too, when we were talking about I can't see Darren Radish not being back. Over 6,800 views, 130 likes on Twitter. Appreciate everybody for supporting that. Not the same thing with Mike Evans. Not at all. He's a guy that loves it here. He knows what it's going to take to succeed. If he's going to come back to the Bucks, he's coming back to the Bucks because he thinks it's going to give him the best chance to win another Super Bowl. That's it. And he knows that he wouldn't put his team in a position to be cap strapped by trying to price them out. He knows. He gets that. So if he doesn't come back here, that's not the reason. He'll go to Texas, Houston, or Dallas. He'll go to Kansas City or one of these other teams. I think that makes sense, but I really hope he decides to stay here and finish his career with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Okay, Super Bowl coming up on Sunday. And again, I'm doubling, tripling, quadrupling down on this. This game, this whole week has been one of the worst builds when it comes to a Super Bowl, at least in my lifetime, that I've seen. I don't quite get it. I don't quite understand that. Two good teams, two intriguing stories when it comes to the quarterback with Sam Darnold. I remember him on, what was it, Monday Night Football or Sunday Night Football with the Jets, and he was talking about seeing ghosts out there. And unfortunately for him, that was something that kind of followed him his entire career. dealing with something like that and saying those things. But you look at Sam and the bounce back, and it'll be a great story if he wins. And Drake May in year 2, people were wondering, and I don't know if it had anything to do with Mitchell Trubisky, but this is what happens. You get a quarterback that comes, and especially that position, you get a quarterback that comes out of a certain college. People kind of look at him, and it was like that for a long time with Alabama quarterbacks. Ohio State quarterbacks kind of have to live that down as well, where people say, "Well, look at Cardale Jones, look at Braxton, look at who was the other guy, Terrell Pryor, Justin Fields isn't that good, right?" Same thing with Alabama quarterbacks for a long time. Are they going to be able to get over the hump? And I think Drake May kind of got the short end of the stick there because people looked at Mitchell Trubisky. And listen, Mitchell Trubisky didn't choose to draft himself that high. Yeah, you could have had some other top-tier quarterbacks instead of Trubisky, but it all worked out, I think, in the long run, in the very long run for the Chicago Bears. But Drake May, and you look at this team, and you look at what Mike Vrabel has done just in 1 year, this is going to put unrealistic expectations on teams all throughout college and the pros because he's been able to turn this ship around so quickly. You're talking about a team that had a top 5 pick last year. They bring in Will Campbell to play left tackle for them. And then a young quarterback. And you got Stephon Diggs and Carlton Davis and Spillane, and Kayshon Boutte is a guy that's really stepped up, but nothing like no game changer type moves where you brought in like a super stud, you didn't trade for a Max Crosby or things like that. But it's just good coaching. Good coaching always has something to do with it. It really does. Our North Carolina correspondent wants to know: did Drake May get robbed of the MVP? No, I think it was close. 1 vote he lost by to Matthew Stafford. I know one of those votes went to Justin Herbert, one of the first place votes. Like, I don't know. If we've learned something this year, the voting for these NFL awards, it really is. It's a crock of shit half the time, whether it's Pro Bowl, All Pro, the awards. It's pretty wild. So it would have been cool to see a kind of a co-MVP type of thing where you have Matthew Stafford, who's this veteran guy who did such a great job with the Rams this year, never won one before, but he's been in the league for so long. And then Drake May, the young buck, right? It's kind of the both ends of the spectrum. That would have been really cool. I would have enjoyed that. But no, I don't think he got robbed. I think it was either one or the other. And Matthew Stafford at his age, just absolutely incredible to see what he's been able to do. And he's coming back next year. So I like what the Rams are all about. I've been a big Sean McVay fan from the beginning, and I think they're just going to retool and get right back in it in the NFC next year. But I think Drake May will gladly give up the MVP for an opportunity to be able to win the Super Bowl on Sunday. But, you look at this contest, 2 really good defense, and I think people are still waiting for the shoe to drop when it comes to Sam Darnold. You look at the quarterback position, and that's where a lot of people are focusing on, and rightfully so. It's the most important position in the game. But even though Sam Darnold has done a lot of these things, people are still waiting for that other shoe to drop. They're still waiting for him to make that big mistake, and he hasn't. He just continues to make play after play after play, and he has the Seahawks 1 win away from immortality, from winning a Super Bowl. And it will change the narrative on Sam Darnold for the rest of his career, for the rest of his life. It'll do a lot. I almost look at his situation almost like a Joe Flacco, where he'll win this and it almost legitimizes his career. Where Joe Flacco now to this day is become like the cool uncle that comes in and helps your franchise out for a couple of games. But you look at his career, and people were wondering, like, he's kind of a Big Ben knockoff. And then he comes in, and the Ravens were good, but was he the guy holding them back? He goes on an absolute tear, wins Super Bowl MVP, and changes how people view him forever. And I think Sam Darnold is in that same position. But you got to be careful, too, because you look at a guy like Drake May and people go, well, this is one, but he'll be back. You don't know that. You don't know that, right? Think about it. How many times did Aaron Rodgers go? He went, pretty early on in his career with Mike McCarthy. This is the first of how many. That's what people were saying. That does not happen. It does not happen. Sometimes that's the only crack at it that you get. Look at Joe Burrow. Is Joe Burrow closer or farther away from reaching another Super Bowl? Much farther away. He went there in year 2. So you could say the same thing about Drake May. Strike while the iron is hot. Because eventually when you don't make it, 1 year turns into 2, turns into 4, and then before you know it, you're 10 years from your last Super Bowl appearance and you're 11 years and 12 years into the league. So there's no, all right, well, we'll get there one day. No, right now. This is a battle between 2 well-coached teams, and I don't know if you're going to see many mistakes. And I say that, and then the mistake may be kind of the end-all, be-all. That may be, the tide that turns everything. I'm going to go with the Seattle Seahawks. I just think that they're well-balanced. I think they're going to be able to run the football with Kenneth Walker Jr. and Sam Darnold with the weapons. Jackson Smith and Jigba, Offensive Player of the Year. I'm going to go with him. So I'm going to go with the Seattle Seahawks. I'll go like 31. I think it's going to be a close game. I think it'll be like 31-26. It's going to be a good game. These guys are going to be fired up, and I like both coaches, so that intrigues me as well. I wanted to touch on this too. So Tom Brady has come out and said that he doesn't have a dog in the fight and he doesn't care who wins the Super Bowl. And a lot of his former teammates, like a Vince Wilfork, like a Asante Samuel, they are losing their mind because of what Tom had to say. And I know what a lot of the response is from people, like, who cares? He can cheer for whoever he wants. He's the owner of the Raiders now. If I am a Patriots fan or I am a Patriots player, I am pissed. No doubt about it. Imagine if you're in the Tampa Bay area and in 3 or 4 years, Mike Evans says that, or Levante David says that. You would lose your mind. This dude has a statue outside of the stadium, and you're telling us that you don't have a dog in the fight? You won 6 Super Bowls. It's one thing if the fans are pissed, because we do know that fan is short for fanatic. But your ex-teammates are taking umbrage with what you're saying. You don't have to be a cheerleader. You don't have to be out there with the pom-poms, and you don't have to be front and center wearing your old Patriots garb. But to be so just distant from this, it rubbed a lot of people the wrong way. And if you're saying that it's not a big deal, you're not a Patriots fan. You don't care. This is just human. Just think about it. Think about it. If you're a Yankee fan and the Yankees are in the World Series and Derek Jeter says that, what are Yankee fans going to say? They're not going to like that at all. They're going to be pissed. The captain? You're not my captain. That's the kind of shit that people would say. You think Lightning fans would be happy in 10 years if they were in the Stanley Cup and Victor Hedman said something like this, or even Steven Stamkos said something like this, or Nikita Kucherov said something like this? No. At the end of the day, we're only human. What the hell are you doing, Tom Brady? You have to understand that when you're in a position of power, wherever it is, whether you're a player, whether you're a coach, whether you're an analyst, whether you're a former great, your words hold value and meaning, and it matters to people. Tone deaf Tom. Not a good look for TB12. No sirree. All right, let's bring her in. She's our good friend. She was so thoughtful last night. She wasn't feeling 100%, so she stayed away from Phil Esposito, and she joined us on the show today, even though she's not 100%. We appreciate it. It's our good friend, Diandra Loux from the Hockey News. What's going on, my friend? How are you?
Hey, Jay. I don't know if it feels like there's a delay on my camera.
There is a little delay. It's okay. It'll catch up. It will catch up. That's fine. How are things over there? How are you feeling?
Well, I'm glad that I didn't go near Phil because I am definitely sick, but I already told you I was coming on the show, so here I am.
Don't worry, the time will catch up. Make sure you follow Diandra. She does such a great job with the hockey news. She's got another big story that's coming up here in the next couple of weeks, something that we're kind of collaborating on as well. So you don't want to miss that. Just like nobody wanted to miss the fight last night. My gosh, we knew that there was a possible powder keg last night at the arena, Diandra, and it blew up. No surprise between these two teams, right?
Yeah, the delay. I feel like it's delayed so much, Jay. I'm just gonna talk, and if
That's
it's
fine.
not
Just talk.
okay,
That's fine. It'll
okay.
catch up.
Yeah, no, last night was interesting. I mean, I know better than to just assume it's gonna be a normal, mellow hockey game. And so what we got through 2 periods where nothing really crazy happened. Usually when the Panthers go down and the game's out of reach, that's kind of where we see some funny business
Mhm.
happen, which obviously they shifted from Brandon Hagel to Nikita Kucherov last night, and that was their guy, which like was never going to end well ever.
Mhm.
But I thought it was, I don't know, just the fact that Brandon Hagel is the one that kind of handled business. It was just it was a statement game for sure. And if the Panthers don't make the playoffs, like this is how the Lightning ended the season with the Panthers, which is a statement.
Mhm. I feel like this is kind of a turning of the tide in this rivalry now because of Brandon Hagel kind of putting his foot down and just letting everybody know that I'm not going to take this anymore. And he stuck up for himself, and we saw how many bad hits there were for him. And last night, and just knowing that they really don't have a chance to make the play. Well, I know they have a chance, but it just doesn't look good for them. I feel like is that being too much? I feel like this is kind of, I feel like it's taken a step in a different direction now. What do you think?
Yeah, no, I agree. I think, it's like as it was happening, and you go back to the playoffs last year, like as it was happening, especially the fans were like, they need to stick up for themselves. They need to stick up for themselves. But it happens so fast, and you're not expecting to constantly have to deal with that. And then you have the officiating is like a whole nother situation. So they're just constantly on their heels, on their heels. And even going into this season, the Greer hit on Hagel, like he wasn't expecting that at all. And so I think it took a little bit of time, right? And you have to almost like wire your brain to think the way that they were thinking. And I feel
Right.
like it was only a matter of time before Hagel got his opportunity. And I think he watched Kachuk hit Kucherov and was like, this is it. Probably played it out in his head and was ready to go.
Right.
So, I mean, the Kachuk skating off with his shoulder pads tingling. I was
Yeah.
like, if you could write it out, if a Lightning fan
Mhm.
could write out what they wanted it to look like, it probably looked like that. So sorry, my voice is a mess. But
No, you're
Hagel's
fine. Oh, we lost her. I don't know what happened. Oh my gosh. All right, we'll try to get Diandra Loux. What happened? Okay, sorry. Come back in. We'll get her back in. Diandra Loux, the hockey news. There we go. Okay, sorry about that. I don't know what happened there.
let me just try this.
Okay. You got to change your internet, maybe?
I don't know what's going on.
Oh,
Okay, you see a
there.
delay.
It's better. I think it's better now.
Okay, hold on.
There you go. You're good.
Okay, well, we should be good.
There we go. Now we're cooking with peanut oil. Good. No, I'm with you. I mean, that fight last night was it was insane. And the way that they won 6-1, the way that Brandon Hagel spoke to us after. I mean, it's been a couple of crazy weeks. And I think I'm taking off the show on Tuesday. And like, I feel like me and you and Ed and Eric, like, we're kind of burning the candle at both ends at this point. So as much as the team is getting a well-deserved break, at least half of them, I think we need a little bit of a break too. What do you think?
My God, Jade, like this situation that's happening right now is strictly from hockey. It's from the Stadium
Right.
Series game and then just continuing on. I know there was a lot of questions last night about, the Lightning are on this roll. Like,
Mhm.
now you take a pause for 3 weeks. What is it going to look like when they come back? But I thought Coop had a really good answer. Is like they know the break was coming, and
Mhm.
that kind of incentivizes them to keep pushing too. Not
Right.
saying they wouldn't otherwise, but like everybody needs a break. I will say this season has been a grind. And I know Julian said the schedule wasn't condensed, but it sure did feel like it the
It felt
first
like it,
the
yeah.
season. So just like seeing what the Lightning have done, what the players have done with injuries, and the schedule has been brutal. It's like even that much more impressive. And then the guys going into the Olympics and Coop, like coaching all the way through that break of coming back, and then they play Toronto like the second that they get back from the Olympic break. So
Oh my God.
I know. I don't know if you thought about that, but
Yeah, it's gonna because that's
that's
a
why.
7:30 start too. It's unbelievable. Oh my God, you gave Coop a hug last night. I hope he's gonna be okay. Oh my God.
I forgot about that.
He gave you a hug. All right, listen, if he misses the first
I
game,
feel
now we
like
know how to
Coop
play.
is fine. It's
He's
more so.
fine.
Yeah.
It's more Phil. Yeah, Coop will be fine. He'll be fine. But yeah, I look at this team and I look at how they've been able to kind of bounce back from dealing with all these injuries. But
Mhm.
it's heartbreaking over the last 7 days to be able to see Anthony Cirelli and Braden Point having to get, taken off the Olympic team. Anthony because of the late injury at the Stadium Series game, and Pointer did everything he could to be able to come back and just couldn't do it. It's just you heard it in Brandon Hagel's voice last night. He didn't even want to talk about it because it was that emotional.
I know it's so brutal, especially think about like Braden Point was one of the first 6 guys named to the
I
team.
know.
So he knew in his mind that he was going for so long, and earned it over the years. And he's such a like kind guy in general. Like, you know what I
Mhm.
mean? It was awful. Yeah. And he's been practicing, and I thought maybe there was a chance, although they were really going down to the wire. And I think obviously they gave him as much time as they possibly could, given the deadline was yesterday afternoon.
Right.
So I thought maybe there was a chance, but if he's not at 100%, I mean, I think it's admirable to take a step aside and let somebody else get the opportunity if you know that you're not at 100%. And
Right.
really unfortunate with Sorelli too, because that was just like, I mean, there was nothing that he could have done. Like he didn't know that that was
Mhm.
coming. You know what I mean? So
Right.
I just hate to see, I mean, I hate to see any athlete have to go through that, especially in the Olympics. You only get an opportunity every 4 years. And Braden Point may still have a chance to go again. He may still get an opportunity, but you just never know how things are going to play out. Right.
Yeah.
So,
For any of those guys, for any of the guys, you just never know. Like things happen, and just like this year, right? I mean, we think
yeah.
like, oh, 4 years, you try to see how old they are, maybe they'll be able to get back, but you don't know. You don't know
Yeah.
if they're still going to be playing at that level. There's going to be good young players. You don't know if they're going to be healthy. So it's pretty sad. It really is. And, I think selfishly, I think as, a person that follows the Lightning, I mean, you look at it, they're top tier players, man. They're going to have Cooch. They're going to have Vazzy. They're going to have Cirelli. They're going to have Point. They're going to have Nick Paul. They're going to have a lot of their guys, even though a lot of guys will be in Milan for the All-Star game. I mean, for the Olympics, there's going to be a lot of guys home too. So I think they'll be able to utilize that rest. I say rest, but Cooch is probably on the ice right now.
Cooch is probably on the ice. You are correct. He's probably going to be on the ice, and Brandon the majority of the break. But so glad that Vasi gets to rest through this break.
Right.
And McDonough, like I know he's healthy again, but like rest, go on vacation, do what you guys need to do. And when they get back, that is a condensed schedule. I mean, the schedule when they get back is insane. So it's going to be a pretty, grinded out type of month. Hopefully they can lock in a playoff spot pretty quickly, but it's just overall, it's just so impressive. I feel like every time we ask Coop questions, he's like, doesn't know what to say except just how great it's been to coach these guys. But I really think bringing in the younger guys from Syracuse really just like made such a difference. And I know it wasn't intentional. It just, there were so many injuries, but it really kind of worked out. It feels like everything is aligning for this team. I said it to Ed, even the Stadium Series game, like everything is just kind of aligning for this team right now. So we'll see what happens.
It's a very special season. I feel like we're in the midst of one right now. You're right. I mean, Dominic James, you saw Dominic James and Gage Gonsalves killing penalties last night after all the dust ups, and just with Charles Edouard Destu, Declan Carlisle's played really well as well. So yeah, I mean, I really enjoy that. We know that in a couple of weeks, we're going to, once the Olympics are over, it's a mad dash to the trade deadline. What do you think the Lightning do as we get closer to the trade deadline? Do they have to make a move? Do they stand pat? Do they? It's just weird because like I'll ask 5 different people and they'll give me 5 different opinions because everybody always wants, oh, go get this guy, go get that guy. But I'd be scared to upset the apple cart with how well these guys have been playing.
Yeah, I kind of I feel like everyone's always drawn to the shiny object, like the Panarin thing. I kept thinking, like, how is this becoming a thing? Which now I know everyone freaked out when I tweeted about Panarin on the move, but I was
Yes, everybody on this show was like, what's does Diandra know? What does she know? I'm like,
I knew he was on the move, and I knew like I knew a few teams that were in the mix for it. So I knew I had an idea kind of where he was going. But so that's like I had that. I'm like, let me just put it out there. But everyone related it to the Lightning. I think I had like, I'm not even kidding you, Jay, probably 200 Rangers fans follow me. And then the second he signed with LA, like unfollow me. Because they wanted to see, they were messaging me. It was so weird. Anyways, I don't think Panarin was ever coming here. There's just not a need like that. I think the closer that we get, I think with Julian, and he's talked about this, like, things get busier closer to the deadline and you never know, like they know some players that maybe will be available, but you never know who's going to pop up and how they could help the Lightning. And so I just didn't see him making a move this early on. It just didn't make sense, but they definitely need help with faceoffs. And I think that's something that they'll address, but like that could be just a depth player. I mean, that doesn't have to be this big, shiny, huge thing. They also don't have they don't have cap space. So it would kind of have to be like a money in, money out situation. So then you ask like, who's going? Someone is going to have to go. They do have a lot of defensemen they have an excess amount of defensemen. So maybe it's something there. They don't have like this huge need this year besides faceoffs are definitely, where the need is. We'll see how I think definitely Julian will address that. But other than that, I mean, what's their need? The power play is starting to click, right? Bjorkstrand, he's in the bumper spot. So maybe they decide what happens when Point comes back. Does he stay in the bumper spot? Because that's where he was at in Seattle and Columbus. I think that's the big question. What do they want to do on the power play? So power play and faceoffs on that left side are probably their 2 needs. Unless, am I missing something? I think that's it.
No, I think you got it all. And that's the thing is, everybody keeps saying, well, you could trade Bjorkstrand. It's just like, I know he may not be the guy that everybody has thought that he's, he could have been and been a 20-goal scorer, but like, he doesn't kill you. He doesn't hurt you, right? Like he's not, and now, I mean, he scored another goal last night. That's 10. 8 of his 10 have come on the power play. He scored goals in 2 straight now. The one he had the other night on Tuesday in the power play was really good, quick hands. And you saw it last night with his goal that he had there at the end of the game. He's got a really quick release, and you don't need him. Yeah, when you look at the whole scope of the season, you would hope that he would be a 20, 25 goal scorer. But if it took him more than half the season to figure out where he fits in and he plays well down the stretch and then in the postseason, who gives a crap? Who cares if he finishes with 14 goals in the regular season and scores 8 in the playoffs, right? You just never know who is going to step up. You don't know who is going to be your playoff performer. So I wouldn't be so quick to get rid of him, especially because you kind of know what you have with him. He's a smart player. He's a coach's son. He's not going to kill you. He doesn't turn the puck over. He doesn't take stupid penalties. And he's not like bitching and moaning because he's playing on the 4th line at times when they're all healthy. So I think they're okay. And I, unless they, do you employ Jack Finley to take more draws? Because I saw you tweet out that he won a bunch last night. We heard that from Julian as well during the fireside chat. He doesn't put as much emphasis on the faceoffs. It's more about 5-on-5. It's more about the dangerous chances. And you would love to win more faceoffs. I would love to see a guy like Ryan O'Reilly, but when everybody's healthy, you got a crap ton of centers and you got Nick Paul playing on the wing. So you really, it's kind of a tough putt when it comes to that. But I'm with you. If you could get a guy to help you with a faceoff, especially on the right side, that could definitely help out in a big way. What was your favorite part of the Stadium Series?
Oh my God, that was such an amazing
weekend.
Everything about it was so awesome. I just thought like the overall production of it, like the colors, the way everything was set up, like being down on the field. Ed and I went down there before the game started, which is probably how I got sick because I didn't have my jacket with me, and here I am wandering around for 20 minutes. But I just thought I loved seeing the fans. I loved when I walked in. It was just a sea of blue on the sidewalks, like tailgating. I didn't know how many Boston fans were going to show up, but it was overwhelmingly a home game for the Lightning.
It was.
It was cool to see the whole city show out, and then seeing like the Bucks players there, the Rays players there. I mean, everyone in Tampa was there. I loved Coop's outfit. I thought it was awesome. I loved that people didn't understand it. Like people had no idea what was there. Like, what's wrong with you guys? Like, what is the Pirates with the Mafia? And I'm like, no,
you guys are missing the point. You guys
are missing it. So I just thought it was a great overall. And then everything happened in the game. Probably my favorite part was obviously Vasi's fight, because I knew he wanted to fight. And I just didn't think it was going to happen till like maybe later in his career. So seeing him fight, I don't know, in the middle of Raymond James Stadium and finding out his parents were there, like that's just, I don't know, it's like iconic Vasi behavior. And that he's left-handed.
Yeah, we saw Phil Esposito. I don't know if you saw this, but they actually put up the video with the audio from him and Dave Mishkin, and that was one of the first things Phil said. And Phil's told us, he's like, I can't see a damn thing. But you can see that Vasi was lefty. I was like, oh, Phil, you saw that before anybody else, which was so funny.
Vasi said, everybody when we got into the locker room, everyone's like talking about how they didn't know Vasi was a lefty. And then Vasi literally said to us, I've told them 1,000 times that I'm a lefty, but literally no one knew Vasi was a lefty. I don't know. It was just very like standard Vasilevsky, So that was probably my favorite part. But everything about it, like seeing the city show up was awesome. And then seeing everybody talk about it after the fact. You knew like it was going to be a great event no matter what, but it was very cold too. So that probably helped.
Yeah. And to me, it blew the Winter Classic out of the water. I mean, as much as anybody wants to talk about that and the Panthers and the Rangers or what have you, I don't think it was even close.
No, not even in the same like threshold, not even close.
I got a lot of Panthers fans in my mention last night, and I was going back at him. So I think you would have been. I don't know if you saw some of the verbal. I was jousting with a couple, and I don't know what it is about these Panther fans that they can't spell, and I
saw your response.
I'm like, dude, because it was like, it was the hit from Kachuk, and I was like, oh, here comes all the Panther fans. Because the Lightning started it, right? Here comes a bunch of Panthers fans in my mention that can't spell and don't know who Scott Mellenby is. And everyone's like, we know who Scott Mellenby is. You guys just started having fans in 2015. I'm like, the Lightning won the cup in 2004. What are y'all talking about? What is wrong with these people?
Another breed. I don't know. My mentions are terrifying right now. I'm like, I can't even. I was reading through some of it. I muted everything, so I don't see it unless I go out of my way to find it. And I was reading some of them, and I'm just like, you know what? I'm just gonna move this to the side.
It's such a weird fan base. Like it's one thing for Toronto, right? Like Toronto, you think you're the bee's knees, you think your shit don't stink. We get it, right? Like you've been built up to be this Dallas Cowboys, Canada's team or whatever, even though you haven't won since the 60s. I get that, right? You have this omnipotence of like, I know more about hockey than you. I was born into this. Okay. All right. I get that. Right. For Panther fans, like, I don't even like, y'all don't know how to spell. Like, there's people's names on there. And it's like Hagel, and they spell Hegel Hegal.
I know.
Like, bro, what is wrong with you guys? Hegel, like, it's not that hard. It's 5 letters. It sounds like bagel. It's spelled like bagel with an H. Like, it's I feel bad. I almost feel bad for the fan base because, like, listen, what a lot of people don't know, and you know this, is like the TV and the radio guys and the people that cover the Panthers are awesome people. They are great.
So nice.
We have such a great like rapport with them, and I almost feel bad like talking smack about the people that they like, broadcast to, but it's not unbearable, but it's comical. Like, dude, it's like being in a boxing match with somebody with 2 arms tied behind their back. It's crazy.
It's I think one of them told Ed that he was like an inexperienced reporter or something, and I'm like, Ed, who's like been in this business for a million years, like okay, like chose the wrong one. I don't know. Some of the stuff that gets sent to me is so bad that I block it out now, but sometimes they're really funny too. And
It is.
sometimes I just have to like to throw something in there just because it's hilarious. But yeah, the people that cover the Panthers, I was actually with a couple of them in the stadium series. I did like one of their shows, and they're just really 2 really good people. But I don't know what to say about the fan base, but they come. I mean, they show up. It's like clockwork.
Yeah.
They're coming.
Yeah, they show up to the game 10 minutes late, but they always show up on time on Twitter. That's for sure. Who's got the best chance of winning a postseason award? Vazzy with the Vezina, Coop with the Jack Adams, or Kucherov with the Hart Trophy? That's a good question. I didn't know I was asking that.
They're all like right there. I think this might be the year that Coop wins the Jack Adams. And like the fact that he's coaching Team Canada, I feel like Canadians are more likely to actually pay attention.
Better win.
He better win, because if he doesn't win the gold in the Olympics, he's not winning the Jack Adams. Like,
that's right.
I really think that, like, because there's been other years where Coop is more than deserved to get the Jack Adams, and they just are blowing him off, and now he's coaching Team Canada. So, you know, whatever. I do think this could be his year. Although, as you mentioned, if he doesn't win the gold at the Olympics, I don't know about that. Anyways, we'll see what happens. But Vasilevsky is definitely, like, I've been hearing him more in the Vezina.
Yeah, it's growing. Just like Kucherov. Both of those, like their candidacy seems to be growing as the season goes on, right?
I think Kuch will win the Art Ross again. You watch him. If he's like climbing so fast. That is the one part about this break, like with Kucherov, is like he has been on a run. But we'll see. We'll see what happens. I don't know if people are still hesitant to vote for Kuch. We saw that went last year, which was, and like he had 144 points and somehow didn't win the Hart. So I would say maybe it's Coop's here to win the Jack Adams. Imagine being the coach of Team Canada in the Olympics, getting the Jack Adams and going on a Stanley Cup run. It's crazy.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, he might have to retire after this one. You got to go out. I mean, unbelievable. Don't do it, Coop. I'm just kidding.
Don't say that.
I'm not putting that out in the atmosphere. I know. You're not going anywhere, Coop. We'll tie you down. All right. So what do you got going on the next couple of weeks?
I am taking a very nice break. I don't know what I'm going to do. Probably nothing, honestly. I think I'm just going to stay here. Maybe I do like a weekend trip or something. But other than that, I'm just going to hang out, watch the Olympics, get some sleep. I do have to cover the Olympics.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Like anything that Lightning players do, pretty much.
Right.
So I have to do that. And then, yeah, probably the same as you. You're just hanging out here, right?
That's right. That is right. I got baseball, so I got a lot of baseball ahead of me. So no rest for the weary, that's for sure. And I'm sure there's going to be some more Rays and Bucks news to talk about. So,
the drama.
Diandra, Loux, the hockey news, Diandra, Loux, what it do? Number one all the way. She's the best. D, thank you so much. Get some rest. Thank you so much for joining us, and we'll talk to you next week.
Thank you, guys. Have a good weekend.
You too. And for all you stinking Panthers fans, stay out of her mentions. Leave her alone, would you? D's the best, man. Diandra, Loux, the hockey news. Go check out all of her stuff on social media. Check out the hockey news. Really, she's, man, just some of the like when you look at some of the news and some of the stories that have gone out for the Tampa Bay Lightning. I mean, my God, what Ed Encina has been able to do, as well as Diandra, Loux and Eric Erlandson, it's just top notch. It really is. It's top notch. So glad that Dee was able to join us on the program today. And thank you, because I know she wasn't feeling too good. Everybody smash that like button, whether you're watching on Facebook, on YouTube, on Twitter, wherever you're watching from, smash that like button. Make sure you follow me on all social media platforms, Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, Twitch, TikTok, Instagram. Like and subscribe on YouTube as well. I got my first tournament this weekend down there in Bradenton. Your boy is going to be going to bed early tonight. I'm starving right now. Right now, I am hungry. Free dub stack because of Eric Chernak. How about that? Beautiful. Beautiful, beautiful. All right. So make sure you guys check out my friends over at Honest Hammer Custom Builders LLC for all your residential and commercial needs. My guy Russ, boom, right here. 813-244-0956, thehonesthammer.com, thehonesthammer@gmail.com. He is the man. And listen, if you are trying to freshen up your home, you got a room that you're like, man, I need to just do this whole thing over. Russ can help you out. Give him a call, man. Ask him. I got a kitchen renovation, bathroom renovation. And please, I'm telling you guys, keep an ear out. Maybe it's not just for you. Maybe it's for somebody else. They're looking for something and they have a horror story with a contractor and they want somebody they can trust. My guy Russ is somebody you can trust. 813-244-0956. Kitchen renovations, bathroom renovations, new construction. Again, this is not just your house, it's your home. You want to be able to trust the people that are working on it. Give them a shout. Tell them that you heard it right here on the Jay Recher podcast. Get you a discount. You want to help a member of Team Tampa Bay, a USF grad, Hammer's the guy. 813-244-0956. And then, of course, EverHealth, our EverHealth injury report every Thursday. I saw Dr. Rodriguez last night. I felt so bad. I was locked into my work. I was trying to get some things done before the puck drop. And all of a sudden, like some ladies looking at me. And then you never know sometimes, because when we are in the press box, sometimes people will stand up and look at us like we're caged animals, because all they do is look up and they try to go through and see. So it's you don't pay too much mind, because a lot of times they don't know who you are and you don't know who they are. So I saw her looking, but I didn't know. And all of a sudden I see a guy stand up and I kind of in my peripheral, but I didn't say anything. And then he kind of like waves and I look over and it was Dr. Rodriguez, Dr. Carlos Rodriguez, our guy from EverHealth. I felt so bad. I love you, Doc. You're the man. EverHealth.org, 17 different locations in Pinellas County, everything from the cradle to the grave. They want to help you out with. They are the best. I can't say enough good things about EverHealth. The EverHealth Institute, which is a place that's very similar to the broadcasting school that I went to, that got me headed in the right direction. You want some hands-on training? EverHealth is the way to go. They have a sliding scale for the uninsured. They take any kinds of insurance. Just look at the website, man, everhealth.org. It's the new age of healthcare. This is the way it should be. There should be affordable healthcare for everybody here. And they have 17 different locations in Pinellas County. So go check them out. Again, tell them that you heard it right here on the Jay Recher podcast. Bucks, Rays, Bolts, Knicks say Darren Radish for the Norse. Yeah, that's another thing, too. Angelina Jolie. Yeah, there you go. Steve Garner, something in the water in Sawgrass, and it's not. You're right, man. That place is wild. Michael, do you think Cooch hosts a mini camp during this break? And if so, do you think any of the kiddos join him? Probably. I would say probably. Gage, he'd be guilting people to get out there. Point probably will get out there, too. He'll probably get out there as well. Aaron, he's an analytical commentator for Fox and minority owner of another team. He literally cannot root for any team. That's not the way it goes. He literally cannot root for any team. That's not literal. He sure as hell can. Why can't he say who he's favoring in this game? It don't matter. People aren't going to be like, oh, he doesn't care about the Raiders. Like, people understand he's a Patriots great. King Sorrowful, Jay, did you see Liam Cohen had a conflict with your old radio station and acted extremely unprofessional? I did see that. I know Nick Wise tried to get Liam Cohen on WDAE, and Liam Cohen was like, where are you from? He was like, Tampa, and he kind of just shut him down. And then he made some comment on the way back of like, how'd you guys do this year? What it is. I would have been very surprised if Liam Cohen went on air here in Tampa. Many people did not like the way he went about his business. Listen, it's one thing it's just like anything. It's not what you do, it's how you do it. And to this day, I think a lot of people still are not thrilled with how he did it. If you're going to go take the Jaguars job, go take the Jaguars job. Dude, that's the way it goes. We understand. We get it. But don't disappear and don't use your kid's illness as a way to hide behind what you're really doing. I don't give a shit what anybody says. They don't think it's a big deal about, more power to him. All right, fine. That's your prerogative. That's not my prerogative, and that's not my opinion. I thought it was shady. Whatever. I'm not going to lose my mind over it. I also don't think he's a bad person. right? Sometimes you don't know how to act. And when you have to make that decision, sometimes you make a decision that does not look too kindly on you. I don't want to be judged in my worst moment about my overall character. I'm sure if he had an opportunity to kind of do it again and maybe go about it, and maybe he would do it in a little different way. At least I would hope so. Again, you can have an opinion on things, right? You know, I want to go back to the whole Tom Brady thing once again before we talk about what's going on this weekend. And if you missed it, I want to touch on this again. Right? It's if you're Tom Brady, you will forever be known as a New England Patriot. So when you say that you don't have a dog in the fight, it is just so tone deaf. And it offends not just the fan base there in New England, but also your teammates. Listen to Vince Wilfork. Listen to Asante Samuel. It's just not a good look for Tom. And if you don't think this is a big deal, you're probably not a Patriots fan. A fan is short for fanatic. You think people are going to be okay with this? You think Yankee fans would be okay with Derek Jeter doing this? Honestly, if you're a Tampa Bay sports fan, you're a diehard Tampa Bay sports fan. In 10 years, if you heard Victor Hedman or Mike Evans say something about this, that wouldn't bother you at all? Come on. Be realistic. And Tom needs to be more self-aware. You have to understand. Your words carry weight. This whole I don't care thing, and I don't care who's in it. I don't have a dog in the fight. Come on, bro. This sounds like when you're a little kid and it's cool not to care. Come on, Tom. You can't be that so tone deaf and unaware that this was going to stir something up. There's a freaking statue of you outside the building. Come on, man. Nobody would have batted an eye if he would have said, listen, I'm a minority owner with the Raiders. I'm a broadcaster right now, but of course you know where my heart is. I always want to see New England do well. Nobody's going to look at that like it's funny or weird or bad. But to act like you don't care, man, come on. Come on, Tom. You're better than that. You're better than that, buddy. Is it the end of the world? No. But you wouldn't like it if your favorite player on your favorite team in 10 years said the same thing. And if you tell me you don't give a crap, then you're lying. You may not be lying to me, but you're lying to yourself. The reason why you don't care, it's because it's the Patriots. It's the way it goes. What's going on this weekend? A lot of good stuff when it comes to USF. I mean, look at everything that's going on. We got a bunch of softball going on right now. You look over at what Coach Ken Erickson, he's got the girls ready to roll. They're playing Michigan today at 4:35. Damn, I wish I could get over there for that, but I got practice tonight. They unfortunately fell in their tough season opener yesterday, but I'm looking at the composite calendar for USF. Oh, man. We got women's basketball tomorrow. We got men's basketball on Sunday. We got softball all weekend. They're playing Kansas tomorrow at 2:00. Bethune-Cookman at 7. Women's basketball at 7. Men's basketball on Sunday at noon. Softball against Florida at 2:35. Jeez, man, what a weekend at USF. UT is home. They'll be at the Birdcage tonight. I'm going to try to get over there at practice literally because it's right around the block so I can stop over there. No Lightning hockey, which feels really weird, doesn't it? It feels very strange to not have Lightning hockey. Of course, we have the Super Bowl on Sunday, and congratulations to Drew Brees and Larry Fitzgerald to make their Hall of Fame, make the Hall of Fame on the first year. You look at Adam Vinatieri and Luke Kuechly, who get in, as well as Roger Craig. Luke Kuechly, to me, the best guy that I've seen when it comes to a linebacker, post the Ray Lewis days. Insane. Saturday at 6:30, we have Duke and North Carolina, the matchup, one of the best matchups in all of sports, but the number 4 Blue Devils travel to Chapel Hill to take on the number 14 North Carolina Tar Heels. We got Golden State and the Lakers on Saturday night. There are so many good games this weekend. And before you know it, I think we're about 2 weeks away for some spring training baseball. Knicks and Pistons tonight. The Knicks at 33-18. The Pistons 37-13. Holy smokes, man. A lot of good things going on. We got an MMA card this weekend. We do. Bautista against Oliveira. Look at that. Horiguchi back in action as well. So, all right, there's an interesting one. PFL, Nurmagomedov against Davis. There's another Kuram. Man, PFL in action on the road to Dubai on Saturday on ESPN. Usman Nurmagomedov. There you go. He's in action. That should be fun. UFC fight night as well. And then I'll give you the boxing this weekend. Looking at the schedule, make sure to tell you guys if they're around. No soccer. All right, now let's get to soccer. All right, so the schedules, we'll start with today. Leeds and Nottingham Forest at 3 o'clock. Nothing, no other big matchups there. All right, tomorrow, some big ones. Manchester United look to make it 4 in a row at home at Old Trafford against Tottenham Hotspur. Arsenal at home against Sunderland. Newcastle at home against Brentford. Bundesliga, Borussia Dortmund travels to Wolfsburg. Wolfsburg, I think they beat Bayern Munich last week, so that's a big matchup for them. And then, all right, and then Sunday, it looks like there are some huge matchups on Sunday. Liverpool hosting Manchester City at 11:30 on Sunday at Anfield. That's going to be a good one. Atletico Madrid against Real Betis, and then Valencia hosting Real Madrid. Bayern Munich hosting Hoffenheim. That's a big one. Juventus and Lazio. And And then French League 1, Paris Saint-Germain and Marseille at the Parc des Princes. Wow, man, this is a big weekend. And it's not just the Super Bowl. It's going to be so strange to be able to not watch hockey. What section is directly in front of the press area at Benchmark? I think it's 318, 319. So when you look up, you can say hello. Dan Gary, if Coop wins gold in the cup and he's won on every level, if they made a movie about him, who would it be? Wow. That's a good one. If Coop wins gold, then the cup, and he has won on every level, if they made a movie about him, who would it be? That's an interesting question from our guy, Dan Geary. Who would play? Would it be Matthew McConaughey? No, he's too. He could change his accent. He can get rid of the Southern accent. Oh, man, this is a good one. Matt Damon? Wow, I don't know. If John Cooper wins the gold medal, then he wins the Jack Adams, then he wins the Stanley Cup. He's won at every level, like our guy Dan Gary just said. If they made a movie about him, who would it be? Would it be a Matthew McConaughey? Would it be like a Matt Damon? I say Matthew McConaughey. I understand about the thick Southern drawl, but if anybody could get rid of it, I think it'd be him. That is a really, really good question. I put that out to you guys. If somebody played John Cooper in a movie, who would it be? Good question. I'm eager to see the answers to this one. Well done, Dan Gary. That's why we love you, buddy. All right, guys, it's going to wrap it up for me. I love you all, man. It's going to be a crazy weekend for me, myself, and I. I love you guys. Make sure that everybody out there follows me on all social media platforms: Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, Twitch, TikTok, Instagram. Like and subscribe on YouTube. Support my guys, Honest Hammer and Ever Health. We got a big shout out to Eddie and DT. You guys are the best. Thank you to Dan Geary. Thank you to Diandra Loux for joining us on the program as well. Couldn't do this without all of you. You guys are the best. All right. Monday, we'll break down the Super Bowl with our guy, Ian Beckles. I'm off Tuesday, off Friday, but we'll be on Monday, Wednesday, and Thursday next week. The Olympics, baby, as well. We're going to be tuning into the Olympics. That should be a lot of fun. All right. I love you all. Everybody, stay well. Be safe this weekend. You guys are the best. I'll see you on Monday at noon right here on the Jay Recher Podcast. I'm gone. Peace out.